Hey everybody, what's up? Yeah, I wanted to come on here during my lunch. I got about 28 minutes remaining. But I wanted to come on here and kind of give my thoughts on yesterday's AEW, that's short for All Elite Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling, AEW's rally in Jacksonville, Florida yesterday. Now I know a lot of people, heard what they wanted to hear, got what they were hoping to get, saw who they were hoping to see, and more so. And a lot of people were talking about it, from, of course, the Lex Man, who's excited about this company, to Brian Zane. I'm sure the Schleg Daddy at Jeff Siegel at OTRS Central will have something to say about it. I know others before the rally have had something to say, like Kevin Castle, Don Tony, the people at Wrestling Soup, R.A. Finch has had something to say about it. I know the people at NoDQ.com have said something. Aaron Riff, Jeff Meacham. A lot of people are saying something about it, because even before the rally, there was a lot of speculation of what was going on. A lot of reports of, certain television deals going down and all that. Certain talents probably being locked up. Stuff like that. So with all this, and this was before the rally, a lot of people had AEW on their mind and what AEW could bring to the table as far as professional wrestling is concerned. And yesterday's rally somewhat confirmed, didn't confirm, and kind of had a lot of people salivating and wondering and wanting more about this promotion. It's gotten people wanting to know what else is to come with this promotion. Well, first of all, let's talk about the next event, which is going to be a follow-up to All In. All In, which was this past September 1st at the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois, or in the suburb of Chicago, Illinois. Proved to be enough of a success for Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, the Elite, if you will, overall, to go and pursue this opportunity that lies in front of them. Now, the event, everybody was hoping for a follow-up event, maybe an All-In 2, an All-Out, we don't know. Well, one word or one name kept coming up a lot, and that was Double or Nothing. And Double or Nothing had a very gambling, Vegas, Atlantic City kind of vibe to it. So at the rally, they made the announcement that Double or Nothing will happen, and it will happen on May 25th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Yes, the MGM Grand, which is no stranger to wrestling. It is not. MGM Grand has actually hosted several WCW events. They've held, I think, a couple of WWE events. I think they've even, at one point, maybe once, held a TNA event. I'm not really sure. But they're no strangers to this. Now, originally, from what is being reported, the plan was for AEW to secure the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which is the home of the NHL team Las Vegas Knights, or Knights of Las Vegas Golden Knights, I think. However, with the possibility that the Golden Knights could end up in the playoffs, just like they did last year, and with the fact that the ruling is if a team is in the playoffs and they have a home game probably scheduled around the time of another event, then that sporting team, in this case the Golden Knights, would have first dibs because that's officially their arena. That's their home. So basically AEW didn't want to chance the fact that they may have to change venues if that was to happen, if that situation came up. So they decided to go with the MGM Grand, which again, like I said, is no stranger to professional wrestling events. I mean, we know it's known for hosting boxing matches, professional boxing. We know that it's also known for holding UFC events. So it's no stranger to doing wrestling. It's no stranger. So to hear that they're going to get the MGM Grand on May 25th is great news. And you know what, honestly, as crazy as it sounds, it's in the vicinity. It's, for me, for someone like me, it's a great opportunity to probably try to go to something like this and show my support. It really is. It's a great opportunity to do that. Now, with that said, however, that wasn't the only news that came out. Now, they didn't touch upon, whether or not a television deal had been acquired, had been made. That wasn't touched upon, honestly. That wasn't touched upon. But there is rumors going around that, like I said in my video yesterday, that the main channel I believe they should end up on, when it comes to the Time Warner channels, is TNT. Well, according to Alex of Deluxe Man's World, that sounds like the channel that they're going to try to aim for to broadcast their show. That's going to be the channel they're going to try to aim for. Now, on top of that though, according to a recent report after or during the rally, AEW doesn't have just one, but they have two television offers on the table. Whoever the other television offer is, this is overall a good sign, because it could be Time Warner's TBS channel or division that wants AEW over TNT. It could be WGN America. It could be CBS Sports. It could be Pop. We don't really know. It could be any one of these outlets. But we do know that, according to a report, the possible television deal with Time Warner isn't the only offer on the table, and this is a good sign for AEW. It really is. The other stuff that's come out of this is the announcement by Cody that wins and losses are going to matter. That it's going to matter, that wins and losses are going to matter in this promotion. So that does sound good. It has, basically the other part of that message is they are going to be fan oriented. In other words, they're going to listen to the fans. They're going to use the feedback, the actual feedback they get from the fans to make the promotion and make the product better. That's what they're saying. They're even gonna, I think from what Alex read off, it's even reported that they might even take ideas under consideration for matches from fans. Like if a fan has an idea for a certain match and who should be in it, they're gonna do that. I'm assuming. I'm guessing that's the other. From what I heard Alex say, that's kind of what it sounds like they're going with when they say they're going to be fan oriented and interactive. That the fans are going to be. They're going to listen to the. Sorry about that. That's what's kind of I'm afraid of doing anytime I'm in public, somebody doing that. But anyway, though, like I said, basically I'm sorry if I got thrown off there for a second. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I got thrown off there by that person there. But anyway, like I said, like I said, folks, it sounds like they're going to be more fan oriented. That they're going to listen to not only the feedback about the fans to make the product better, but also listen to maybe some ideas for like matches or who should get opportunities. So that's good and all. That's great and all. Brandy Rhodes came out and said they are going to have a women's division, and that the women's division is going to be unique. Like, in other words, it's not just going to be, I guess, limited to a certain amount of women on a roster. That's going to be, I guess, have an international flavor, and all women are invited or something. I'm not really sure. They're still kind of scarce on those details. But Brandy Rhodes did say that they are going to have a women's division, and it's going to be a unique one. They also talked about equal pay. Men and women will be paid equally. Basically, the gist of that, the statistics on that, is basically if you're kind of a rookie, or you're kind of like, let's say you're on the lower card, like you're kind of starting out, you're building your way up. It won't matter if you're a man or a woman, depending on your positioning, rank-wise and in the promotion, you're going to get paid the same. So even if you're at the top of the card or the bottom of the card or in the middle, you're going to get the same amount as your significant other. So let's say MGF, who's an up and coming young wrestler who has signed with AEW, and I'll get into that in a moment. Let's say he makes, on average, he makes about $16,000 a week, a month. Or let's just say let's say on average his contract says he makes about $16,000. Let's say Penelope Ford, who is also going to be part of this. Penelope Ford, if she's in the same positioning as MJF, she too would get paid $16,000. Something like that. So, yeah. Basically, equal pay means no matter where you're positioned at, if you're going to be paid this amount, then your opposite, then your opposite, if you will, then the opposite sex that's in that same positioning will get the same amount as well. So it's like, it's like, let's say Brock Lesnar in WWE gets paid a certain amount. Some say it's unfair. Fine, whatever. But let's say WWE wanted to go this route. They would give Ronda, even though she's full-time, kind of full-time, they'd give her the same amount. Because they're both former UFC fighters. They both got cross-media appeal. And they're both the top champions. So they would give them essentially the same amount of money if they wanted to do that. It'd be the same amount. So let's say Brock makes $3.4 million. Ronda would get $3.4 million. It's kind of like, that's kind of basically what AEW and what Brandy and Cody and all of them are saying is going to happen. And again, that's good. This is a good move if they're going that route when it comes to equal pay. In other words, nobody gets shut out. Now, as far as the roster goes, they've got plenty of names that are going to be part of this. I mentioned MJF, Maxwell J. Freeman, who is a top up-and-coming athlete. He's going to be part of this company. Penelope Ford and Joey Janela, they're going to be part of this company. And that's great and everything. Of course, you're going to have the Elite, Hangman Page, Cody, Young Bucks, maybe even Kenny Omega. They're not too sure about that yet. They're all going to be part of this. Brandy, of course, as well. But then, on top of that, as I check my time here, on top of that, they got some big names signed, if not ready to sign, to AEW. One, they have Pac, P-A-C, Pac, formerly known as Neville, who is the current Dragon Gate champion. He's going to be part of AEW. He's going to be part of it. There's rumors that Goldberg could show up and be part of it. We're not really sure about that yet. But probably the biggest surprise and biggest signing right now is Chris Jericho. Yeah, Chris Jericho is now part of AEW. Yeah, Chris Jericho is now part of AEW. He made a surprise appearance, unannounced, if you will. He's part, and he basically said he's all in with AEW. They did a video on his Twitter, Instagram, whatever, of him signing his AEW contract. We don't know how long that's going to be for, but apparently WWE is not too happy with him because he made a promise he would never compete against them on U.S. soil. Well, that promise is out the window because that's exactly what he's doing. And because of this, basically, I think it was ringsidenews.com and a few other sources pointed this out, that the opening video montage that they have, the WWE has, the new one, the Now, Then, and Forever, had a little bit of an edit change. Had to be edited a bit. And what they did with that edit is they took Chris Jericho's image out of there and replaced it with Stone Cold Steve Austin's. Why? Because Chris Jericho basically broke his promise not to compete against them, and in front of the world, through social media, which I'm sure got Vince McMahon's attention, signed an AEW contract. So yeah, Chris Jericho is now part of AEW. Again, we don't know how long the contract's going to be for, and a lot of people are assuming that what's the word I'm looking for? This bad karma between both Jericho and WWE is not going to last long. And let's say the contract with AEW is only for a year, then within a year, Chris Jericho could end up being back in WWE because he was in talks with WWE recently before he signed this contract. Now, with that said, with that said, my thoughts on all the news that broke from this rally, I think it's great. I mean, they got a list of you can look up the roster or even listen up on the roster. If you watched the Lexman's video or Pro Wrestling Unlimited's video, they'll read off the roster to you of who they got so far. So it's great to see that they're doing this. So yeah, I love the fact that, they got Pac and Neville. I like the fact that they got Jericho. I like the idea that they're going to make wins and losses matter this time. I like the fact that they're going to listen to the fans, take the fans' feedback and work with it, or take the feedback they get from the fans and work with it and use it, as well as maybe even listen to and integrate maybe ideas from the fans and about who to push, who to give an opportunity to, and maybe what kind of matches they can end up doing, stuff like that. So it's great to know all that. It's great that they want to be unique enough to where, as they say, they want to change the universe. They want to change the wrestling universe from what it is now to something that's going to keep wrestling alive in the future. I like that. However, with positives, there's possible negatives. You see, there are going to be a lot of detractors, probably even some as we speak, that are going to mention this. We know that with AEW, you're going to have championships. You got to have You got to have championships for this company for people to compete for. This is where you're going to have some detractors, and I hate to say it, they do have a point. See, a lot of people will look at AEW and they'll applaud what they want to do, what they plan to do. But they will also come out and say that it's nice you're saying all the right things, but that's just talk. You need to not talk. You need to stop talking and you need to start showing. In other words, they're going to want evidence, physical, visual evidence of AEW keeping its word about listening to the fans. Wins and losses will matter, stuff like that. So they're going to want physical proof, physical and visual proof. The other thing that some detractors, and I know a certain OTRS Central guy will point this out, will say, is that some have said that AEW is kind of like a vanity project for the elite. And some people will take that conception of this being a vanity project for the elite, and they might start thinking that all AEW really is going to be is be like what TNA was to Jeff Jarrett and some of his buddies. And that basically means that all AEW in their minds could end up being, unless they're proven wrong, and they hope to be, I'm sure they want to be proven wrong, is that it's nothing more than just a promotion for guys like Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks to be the top champions, to be the top guys, and stick it to the promotions that want them or want them back or never gave them an opportunity, and say, see, we can be the top champs. And honestly, a lot of people will point out those detractions. And like I said, a lot of people will point those out as detractions, because a lot of people will say, if you're going to say all this stuff about being about the fans, listening to the fans, wins and losses and all that, they're going to want you to prove it. And in a detractor's mind, they're going to want you to prove it by not putting yourself over, by not using this company that you've helped create and founded just so you can make yourself the top guys. They're not going to want that. They're not going to want that. They're not going to want to see that, because if they, in their minds, see any kind of evidence of that happening, then to them, AEW is nothing more than a vanity is a self-ego feeding vanity project for the elite, just to make themselves look good in the eyes of other promotions, because they want to try to prove them wrong by using their own promotion to basically become the top guys. And if that happens, that's going to get it. Here's the truth. That's going to get a lot of people that are supporting AEW now to start thinking, so wait a minute, this whole AEW thing was nothing more than just a promotion you wanted to put together so you can make yourselves the champions? Again, they'll be looking at it as being what TNA was to Jeff Jarrett. Because a lot of people look at TNA and when it first started, and for a while, as being nothing more than a company that Jarrett created to put himself over, to make himself the top guy. Like I said, they'll look at it as being nothing more than what Jeff Jarrett had done with TNA originally in its first several years, and make it a promotion all about him. Because how many times was Jeff Jarrett the NWA/TNA champion? More so than anybody else, right? And that is what a lot of folks are going to look at. Like I said, that's what a lot of folks are going to look at. Are going to look for, or hope to not look for, because if they see, like I said, any evidence right off the bat of this happening, then it's going to prove them wrong. It's going to basically make the people that are supporting AEW look like idiots, and believe it or not, it's going to make the people that poured their money out into this, the Khan family, look like idiots, because basically all you've done to them is use their money to create your own self-absorbed promotion to make yourself the top guys, to prove to promotions like WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and all that you can be the top guys, and you should always be the top guys. And that's not a good sign on your part, AEW. Oh, that's what I'm saying is that's not a good sign on AEW's part if they do that. That's not a good sign on Cody's part. That's not a good sign on the Young Bucks' part if that's the plan. So hopefully those detractions that a lot of people are going to look at as being why AEW is really happening, like let's say the Schleg Daddy, Jeff Siegel at OTRS Central, among others, if they see, like I said, any evidence of that happening, to them it's going to be evidence enough that this was nothing more than a farce, just so Cody and the Young Bucks can get themselves over on a national level and in front of a worldwide audience. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Again, we don't know everything just yet of what's going down with AEW. We don't know all the details about what's gone into this partnership. Maybe the Khan family basically said, look, you want us to support you, that's fine, but you can't make this promotion about yourselves. You can't use this promotion to put yourselves over. It's like, yeah, it's nice if you become the champ maybe once, maybe twice, and that's it. But you can't use it to make yourself the top guy all the time. So hopefully maybe some kind of agreement or deal was made to prevent that from to prevent what people are fearing from happening. So overall though, AEW, I like the fact that it's going to be a reality starting May 25th with Double or Nothing. I like the fact that they're going to have that at the MGM Grand, and here's hoping that what they do in Las Vegas is the first step among many that they need to take. Like I said, let's hope it's the first major step they take in a list of many to help make AEW what it is, or what it potentially could be. So those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you all think down below. I got to get back to work. But those are just my thoughts on what came out of the AEW rally, what potentially could be, and what potentially a lot of people do worry about AEW really being about, and hopefully that will be proven wrong. So again, sorry for the interruptions. Once again, sorry about that. Sorry if I sounded like I rambled. But that's all I can say on it, guys. Take your time in watching this video. Hopefully you did. And I will talk to you all later. I got to get back into work.